4 October for Leo is not just another date on the calendar, it's a stage you step onto with the quiet certainty, I want to shine. It isn't a whim but a summons from your nature, as if the world hushes for a moment so you can say something essential, not into a microphone and not for an audience but into the stillness for your true self to hear. You may wake with the sense that it's time for what may not be clear yet. Sometimes the only clarity you need is an inner, I want it to be different. Days like this begin a movement not outward but inward, when you stop playing a role and ask, who am I without it? Leos are used to strength, brilliance, confidence, yet today isn't about outer force. Today asks you to be vulnerable, to admit there is fatigue, that not every applause warms you, that not every battle deserves your fire, and that the most important thing isn't recognition but the feeling that you're living in alignment with yourself. 4 October can remind you of what you've been postponing. A decision, a conversation, a step. It might not demand visible action, but it does ask for inner acknowledgement. You no longer want to stay quiet. Choosing silence when what you need is honesty isn't strength. Allowing yourself to be real is the beginning of a new kind of power. If there are people with whom you've been walking in circles, you can pause today. You don't need to slam the door. Just admit to yourself, "This is heavy. I'm not getting what I need. I'm tired of pretending everything is fine." Sometimes such private honesty is enough to change the course of events. In relationships, the day acts like a mirror. It shows who is beside you because they truly see, feel, and respect you, and who is there out of convenience, habit, or benefit. You may feel you want either closer or not at all. Leos don't know how to live halfway, and half measures will feel especially sharp now. If you're in a loving bond with too few words, say what you've been holding, your fears, hopes, desires. You'll be surprised how much closeness honesty creates. If you're in a connection with many words but little truth, be quiet for a while, meet their eyes, listen to the pauses. Truth lives there. If you're single, this isn't emptiness, it's the moment before something significant. You stand before a door and hesitate to push, not because you doubt love is there, but because you know too well what comes after. Today you may feel ready to try again, slowly and carefully, without betraying yourself. Career matters are secondary to your inner landscape, yet if you sense it's time to shift direction, to stand up for yourself, or to put your talent forward, this is a fitting moment. Leos can endure for a long time, but when the inner voice grows louder than fear, they become unstoppable. Today marks a pivot when I want begins to overcome I must. Money themes may surface, especially if you felt torn between freedom and stability. Ask honestly, are these truly my goals? Or am I living to satisfy someone else's expectations? The day favors reassessment, not demolition, but clarity. Your intuition whispers, yet it's uncannily precise. If something isn't yours, even if it looks perfect, don't take it. If a gentle warmth, a click of recognition appears, follow it. Trust your body over logic today. It knows. Please don't demand productivity, efficiency, or usefulness from yourself. You are needed by you. Not as a leader, not as a pillar, not as the one who always has it together, but as a living person with a fine soul and a fragile shadow. There lies your gold. You may feel others are suddenly too loud and you too quiet. Nothing is wrong with you. Something within is ripening. Today's quiet isn't weakness, it's the pause before an inner surge. A lion doesn't always have to roar. Sometimes a single look can stop the world. Many Leos may crave solitude, turning off the phone, stepping away from extra eyes. It isn't retreat, it's a return to yourself. Behind this silence is a deep thirst for authenticity, to breathe fully, to stop acting sturdy when inside everything wavers, to be honest for at least one day. If you feel an old hurt stir, it isn't random. The soul draws out what was buried too deep. If you let yourself stop fighting it and simply look calmly at it as part of you, you'll understand how much you've held back, not because you wanted to, but because you thought that was right. Now it's different. A Leo isn't only the one who always shines. A Leo knows how to step into the shade to return brighter. You can be silent with dignity. You can love to the end. You can also endure too long. Today can be the point where you say, enough, not in anger, but in respect for yourself. If you work with people or stand in the spotlight, protect your boundaries. Others may pull, demand, and expect, but you don't have to respond. This isn't a day to meet everyone else's needs. It's a day to honor your own energy. Notice where you're tired, where you're running on inertia, where interest has faded and only the form remains. Sometimes a lion holds on simply because they once poured their heart into something, but everything changes. If you feel empty inside, it isn't because you lost, it's because you grew. If you've been delaying a heart-to-heart, this day gently nudges you. It doesn't ask for drama, only truth. Even a few words, even a different expression on your face, is already a step. Leos can speak without words, and today your silence could say more than any declaration. Listen to your body. You might feel the urge to change something in your appearance, hair, style, clothes, or to strip away the unnecessary. Your body seeks symbolic renewal. It senses that what's inside no longer matches what's outside. Give yourself that update, even in a small way. It's also a good day to tend your space, tidy up, clear out the old, sort what's piled up. It's more than cleaning. It's a ritual that restores a sense of control, not through force, but through clarity. If you find yourself drawn to the past, open photos, letters, or notes, not for nostalgia, but to grasp how far you've come. You've endured more than you've allowed yourself to realize, and you're still standing. That means you've already won. The day offers a chance to release expectations, yours and others. The world doesn't require you to know everything, do everything, or be everything. It wants you to be yourself, in your strength, sincerity, shadow, and light. If you allow yourself to be real, you open a new chapter today. 4 October can become a return to yourself, to a dream, to a choice you once set aside. Often, what separates us from life is a single inner, I don't have the right. Today you may feel that you do, and that you owe it to the person you truly are. If in recent days you felt pressure, anxiety, or the sense that nothing is moving, today you may suddenly see that things are unfolding, just not the way you pictured. Sometimes the universe doesn't hurry, because it's preparing what lasts. You can feel this with your skin, your heart, your body. Recognition may feel especially important. Leos live when they shine. But shining isn't the same as being judged or rated. It's being seen as your real self. If you haven't felt seen for your essence rather than your role, you'll notice that absence sharply today. Don't be afraid to admit it. It isn't a whim, it's the need to be alive. If you're a creative soul, deep inspiration may surface. Not a sky-high fountain, but an underground spring, a line, an image, an idea, a sound you want to catch and unfold into work. Don't delay. It isn't an accident, it's the call of your core. If you're on a long road, a project or relationship that demands stamina, and your hands are falling, a sign may arrive, a glance, a word, a coincidence that tells you it isn't over. It's a breather, and your heart still beats in rhythm with what you believe in. It's very healing today to be quiet, not to withdraw, but to connect with yourself and with those close. Sometimes silence isn't the absence of words, but the space where the soul begins to speak. Sit beside someone in quiet, and you'll say more than 100 phrases. Release the urge to please. A Leo doesn't have to be adored by everyone. A Leo isn't a puppet on a stage, but the one who keeps moving even under doubtful eyes. That is your power. More than ever, don't calibrate yourself against other people's expectations. Calibrate against yourself. If you like who you are, that's already enough. Don't force outcomes, rush, prove, or earn. 4 October isn't about success, it's about truth. Even if you only slow down, breathe out, and say no to what isn't yours, you've already done the essential, because power is born not from pressure, but from honesty. If tears come by evening, don't be afraid. They aren't weakness, they're the release of tension you've held too long, a cleansing. It's the moment when the lion's heart, tired of the external, returns to itself. After that return, you'll be stronger, quietly, steadily, authentically. 4 October doesn't end like a typical day, it seems to close one inner cycle and open another. If at any moment you were alone with yourself, without masks, without roles, without the urge to be strong, you've already done the most important thing, because that's where the path that truly belongs to you begins. Maybe you didn't finish everything you planned. Maybe you let go of something that once felt crucial. But if by day's end, you feel even a little lighter, it's a sign you've come back to where you were awaited, inside, to yourself. Thank yourself not for simply holding on, but for allowing yourself to be alive. For feeling, releasing, admitting, for choosing presence over escape. Even if no one else noticed, the universe did, and, most importantly, you did. In the evening, do something symbolic. Write yourself a few words, light a candle, go to bed early, or simply hold yourself. The day may be demanding, but it is honest. Be quietly proud, not outwardly, but within. You are not only a lion, you are a human learning to be not just strong but sensitive. And in that lies your new authority, the power to be yourself.